Hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back to Dice and Anarchy for another Toku Tuesday. Zeztz is wrapping up. Teo had a recap episode, so I will not be recapping the recap. And Omegahorn is once again diving deeper into more lore. And before we get into it, I would like to thank everyone for watching and make sure everyone votes in our polls that we have been doing as of late, so that way we can get more diverse thought in to what we get into for the polls. And with that, we can, we can drag that. Let's go into Zeztz, the Penultimate Zeztz. We last left, Nem decided to erase herself, so that way this world may be saved. And to destroy Oblivion. And then we had, instead of the normal intro, we had a completely textless, no Zeztz pun, nothing. Just the handle going in between the sword, the gun, and all of that. Then case 49, remember. And Minami coming into frame. The real world is back? Yes, but Nem's advertisements are gone, according to Nausicaa, who's getting in the car with Fujimi, who was wondering, what about the boys, Baku and Odaka? They are stubbornly still stuck in the dream. And wondering, Minami says, what happened in there? What happened? Then she goes into the Zeztz room. And Nem is gone too. So she tries to call Baku, and he ignores her call. And in the dream, he says he will get Nem back, but he has objections from Odaka. There is proof right here that she is gone for good. Because everything the nightmare erased is back, with Zieg coming in. It's one life lost just to set the world correct. Of course, Baku refuses to accept this. And where is Nem? Nem is in the void, just like Sieg was before. And we have Oblivion taunting Nem, erasing me by forgetting yourself. That is one big move. And in the void, Nem doesn't even know who she is. Nem, who's that? And part of the mission to retrieve Nem, Baku goes to a lake and dives on in and gets roped up by the lady, or Phantom, who wants the power of Zeztz Extreme. But, as you can see, behind the lady is a door, one of the mine doors. So, Baku surmises that Nem is behind that door. And when they start a fighting, the Phantom / the lady's intentions come out. And she just says straight out, by combining the power of Zeztz Extreme with the power of her illusions, she can recreate Nem. Not bring her back, not save her. She can recreate her. Thus, it is the only way to save her. But that is admitting that Nem was just an illusion the entire time. Correct? But Nem was indeed alive, in reality, for some portions of the season. Some portions. And after they fight for even a little bit longer, she does go back to the lady. And it is make our dreams come true. And Baku says that he wants to grant Nem's dream of living in the real world. Even if it distorts the world around it, asks the lady, he will bring Nem back to her. And he goes through the door, and it's nothing but pure white purgatory. And then we go back to Fujimi and Nausicaa, welcoming Odaka back to Paranormal Affairs. The higher-ups have just reinstated him. So, welcome back, Odaka. And now, Fujimi needs an update on the situation from Nox / Odaka on what's going on with the dreams and the nightmares. So, Nem has disappeared. The bad dream ended. So, Odaka and... No, not Odaka. Fujimi and Nausicaa need to infiltrate the dream. Hopefully to get Nem back. And they'll do so by keeping their preferred dream next to them. But as Odaka points out, Nem chose to disappear. Doing so, trying to find her would be pointless. Even the power of Zeztz couldn't find her, bring her back. And therefore the paranormal affairs will surpass Zeztz now. And Fujimi continues on. Maybe he is ridiculous. He'll just have to save them all. Nausicaa, she doesn't want to lose. Odaka may be right, but she doesn't want to lose any friends either. So she's getting prepared. And she's not a police officer if she can't save one precious life. Of course, referring to Kureha and how she died in the line of duty of Code. And then off to the dream world with them. And then back into the Zeztz room with Minami. She decides that she has had enough, and she's going to dial in a location to try and find Baku herself. And then we have these two, where the heck are we? Where they are intercepted by Code Agent 17, wondering how they got into the dream as well. Finally, we get back to Baku, who is constantly using different capsums. No. he dropped the X-Dream capsule, and it caused a little bit of memory to come back to the pure white purgatory. So now he is just using X-Dream constantly to try and bring back Nem's memory constantly, over and over again. And then we have a duologue between the lady and Phantom. Why did you let Zeztz go? Is it, you think that he might make your dream of living with Nem in the real life come true? Oh, watching you succumb to your slavish illusions has been such bliss. But Phantom will enjoy remaking Nem in her image now. And she tries and to kill the lady. In one last act, the lady absorbs Phantom, which then confuses Phantom and thanks her. You made my dream of motherhood come true, so now it's time to gouge out our eyes. So now the lady nor Phantom can see. The lady will no longer be deceived by illusions, which has Phantom confused. You've abandoned your ability to see in dreams, which the lady just says back. She's an old woman. She's lost her ability to dream or to sleep. So what ability? Her ability to not even see in her dreams is a blessing in disguise. So be gone. And she uses the last of her power to make Phantom go away. And then she goes away as well. And then we go back to Baku. And as you can see, he's used up a lot of capsules trying to get back the memories of Nem from the void. Come back to me. And then, from the corner, it's his sister in air quotes, and Fujimi and Nausicaa. We won't let you do this alone. And then they contribute. The world's most beloved figure, always determined to do good. Nausicaa ends up, saying, you fought with us all those times. Isn't that right, Nem? Minami says, you helped me and Baku become family again. We won't let you tell us to forget you. You made me remember what matters to me. And in all this swirling rainbow memory, it drains the capsules. They go from whatever color they were to black, to blank. And Nem reappears, wondering why they are doing this. They say it's because the world hasn't forgotten her, as she is crying. But if that's true, that means Oblivion is back. To save just one person, you've sacrificed the whole world. But no, Baku figures he can have his cake and eat it too. He can protect Nem and save the world. And then Oblivion fades away the entirety of the void and kicks everyone back into the lake. But while everyone is heading back towards the door, Nem notices the lady's necklace along the shoreline. And then we also have one of the things from much earlier on, a purple butterfly, more than likely indicating that Phantom is dead. And then Nem finds her dying mother, and her dying words are, "As long as you're alive, this world is just a little bit more beautiful." And that she will always watch over her. And thus she passes, and Phantom's butterfly passes over her. And Baku swears he will make their dreams come true. And what is this? Nem, I'll erase it all for you again. Oh, it's this guy. Then you'll never have to suffer. And then we have him, Thanos snapping everyone away. Oh no! Sieg, again? Our boy Baku made a nasty little choice. Then as he pulls up a no fishing sign while fishing, he decides, guess I'll keep being cringe. And while Odaka is out and about, he sees what's happening. It's like, oh God, they made it happen. Our dreams are free and overflowing with hope. And as he turns the dial on the gotcha, he gets a brand new capsum. So it's going to be a final episode, final form. A true final form. And Baku says to Minami that she was the reason that they have been able to save Nem, all because of her. So when will you be back? He says he doesn't think he will. So thank you for everything. Better come back, stupid big brother, Baka Niki. And then when he does go in, the world's disappearing after all. I don't think so, because I have Nem here, and it's time to make our dreams come true. And he just goes straight for impact. And when they fight, Oblivion goes for the standard, the more you care for Nem, the more her subconscious fear grows, therefore empowering me, blah, blah, blah. And then he just tries to erase Zeztz straight away. But, why didn't you become erased? It's because Nem dreamt that he wouldn't, or something like that. It's because her dream came true. Because even if the memories are painful and hard to bear, they will be overcome. And then Zeztz gets blasted and de-transforms. And then the cavalry arrives. Looks like you're having an awesome bad dream. Sieg wants to help, apparently. Along with, this isn't a game, Nox. And then they square up. Cue, the boys are back in town, baby. And they end on that. And they have a mix of everyone's capsums. You can see Midnight Shadow. You can see Egg's Dream. You can see Catastrum. You can see the new one he just pulled. And you can see right below it, you can see Punish. Representation for Dawn. And then, on the last mission for Kamen Rider Zeztz, it's time to wake up from this bad dream. Even with dreams, there are far more that never come true. We won't let you erase the feelings of hardship that we have gained. Last case, imagine. Now, let's make that dream come true. And then we also had Nox staring down code number 8, who's supposed to be in the movie. And then we had a brief glimpse of the handoff from Zeztz to Mice. And you can see Baku holding what appears to be one of the R.E.D eggs. It's probably one of the legendary ones, because it's probably the Zeztz egg. And that is our boy, Mice. And after Zeztz, it is Omegahorn. And we have the brief introduction that always gives us, in the ancient past, this world belonged to the Megahorns. Today, however, it is the age of hunters who harness the Megahorn's power in battle. This is the story of Captain Omegahorn, aka Shout the Flame, and Enigmakaku, king of the Megahorns, as they chase their ambitions in this age of hunters. And we immediately start out with Enigmakaku shouting out to a small valley and essentially challenging the Evol Alliance and how they impose their rule upon the people of the land. And this atrocity shall not go unpunished. Therefore, come to battle with Shout right this instant. Well, you did say you want to do battle with these people, did you not? This is why I said they should come to battle with you. Well, no, technically Shout said he would battle them if they came across his treasure hunting activities. Well, how is that any different in practice? Well, that would be the Omega Analyzer, aka Anna. Technically correct. And then out in the distance, a voice is heard, and, according to Enigmakaku, he knows that smell. Let's do this. Enigmakaku. Fireball thing. It appears the twins are also back in town, and Air has won a battle against another Evol Alliance goon. Tell him Air the Undaunted and Al the Unwavering send their regards. And the twins and Shout and Enigmakaku get to have a reunion. They've had a lot of time to practice, so let's have a quick hunter battle, Captain Omegahorn. And the Omega Analyzer, says, not having Gokaku seems to have done them good, because Gokaku seemed to have been training wheels for them. Oh, well, that little computer of yours has got some sass. Well then, consider your challenge accepted. It's hunter time. Let's go. We're doing inhabit Enigmakaku. While she does a new one, Funkaku, which is a butterfly seahorse thing. We're getting weird on these. And then, episode 5, discover your dream, your ego. Find the mysterious flying Megahorn, Enigmakaku, and the road to Professor Al. And we have Air taunting. Again, I picked up plenty of new tricks since we last met 4 episodes ago. And when going in and finally guarding his blind spots, not bad. But wait, Funkaku's ring dust isn't just a blunt instrument meant to be used to shoot at people and to blind people. Well, someone sure knows his stuff. Megahorn Professor. Oh, by the way, hey, listen. Al's got this dream of his. So, there's nothing on Enkaku's Igor gear in this bestiary, right? Oh, so I see. I am nowhere to be found. Well, it only does make sense. You only just got free of those ruins, after all. So, it stands to reason that there might be other undiscovered Megahorns out there. Al was the one to find that little piece of trivia in the bestiary, and he is gonna be the first to discover a brand new Megahorn and become the world's #1 Megahorn professor. I don't think that's up to you. The first sign of resistance. Oh, you don't want to be the Megahorn professor? Oh, no, I didn't say that. All I said that wouldn't be. It wouldn't be bad. You know. I have always thought that he might not be cut out for the battling life, low-key. So hearing that he's got a dream of his own has got her in tears. Has meeting me truly lit such a fire in your heart? Maybe. The world's #1 Megahorn hunter, plus the world's #1 Megahorn professor as a brother-sister team? They can join up with Captain Omegahorn, and they can make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Her true motivations have been revealed. And thus, they would like to formally hire Captain Omegahorn for his services. To find an unidentified flying Megahorn? That's a very fuzzy looking picture you got there. It doesn't sound like any Megahorn in the bestiary. And Enigmakaku doesn't know it either. Therefore, this is an enigma. It's an Enigmakaku. Something that even the king of the Megahorns doesn't know about. Who? And why does R get the naming rights? Oh, the name Owl the Unwavering, Megahorn Professor, will be known the world over. The discoverer of a new species. And Enkaku just wants to find it so that way they can do battle. And thus they start to sniff it out. And then, in a separate village, we find the guy that was beaten earlier, along with somebody else, and they are trying to find the unknown Megahorn that has been flying around here. They're trying to sniff out any information from a village. They'd be gassed to hear any first-hand accounts or information from this super blurry photo. Keeping secrets can be quite the toxic habit, you know. But his Igor gear is not that of a scorpion like I thought. No, no, no. It is Dokukaku. This angler fish eel thing. Which, when you look at his weapon, you would think, oh, that's like a big warhammer. He can use it like that. He also uses it to blow bubbles of poison. So that way when they pop, they poison people. And then he, of course, blames the other guy. You know, if you had completed your recon mission. Oh, my sincerest apologies, Commander Sonpoi. And they finally get an answer. After giving some of the townspeople a small dose of poison. So that way they can't move, you know. They saw a dark silhouette fly over the mountain over there. That's all they've seen. Ah, now coming clean. That didn't kill you now, did it? Then on the way to Enigmakaku. You sure you're going the right way? Of course, girl child. For I am following the scent of mystery. And then while Shout and Al are talking about how Al can be the #1 Megahorn professor, he finally says it. I won't be. It's obvious when I look at all the hunters R and I have fought. Plenty of them want to be Megahorn professors. They have knowledge and experience. I don't think I could ever catch up. That's what you're so scared of? Listen, man. And then they are so rudely interrupted because they have found the cave. The cave of which is Enkaku is certain. Enigmakaku lies within. And then while Enkaku is being loud and boisterous, and the king asks himself, the king himself asks you to, you can see a green poison bubble. I wonder who that could be from. But it only goes after those 3. And those three end up being poisoned on the ground. So it's the stale smell of Misa grass. This must be... Oh, it's those two again. That's right. And he's gonna get his precious Funkaku back. Oh! Commander Sonpoi is not fond of that idea. Out, he says, as he smashes him with his weird mallet bubble blower thing. It's gray layer toxin, the neurotoxin emitted by Dokukaku. And then he goes in to grab Funkaku from air, and that's when Al tries to stop him. Oh, well, I guess you're also here for the mystery Megahorn. But he is claiming it for his Excellency Eval. Of course. Of course. But he is commander of the Geno Corps, the Autonomous Lethal Unit. Sonpoi the Toxic. So, turns out Geno has his own core of people doing stuff. And he is the twins' younger brother, Al the Unwavering. And he will be awakening and inhabiting Hyokaku, which is, I think it's one of the first ones that actually looks like a mythical creature. Like it's supposed to be like a Yeti or something. Something weirder than a Yeti. And then the eye catch was for Dokukaku. Horn Blast, Dokukaku Poison. And then they come back and they are fighting. And Hyokaku has this weird fork prong catching thing, staff. And Al is not looking good. And Enkaku is once again admiring his enemies. This toxin is most impressive. Man, stop doing that. Stop admiring the foe. That's it. That's the best you could muster. So much for fighting to be the strongest. That's a well that's already been poisoned, and you know that it's been poisoned by yourself. And you know why? 'Cause he thinks without air, he can't do anything. He's not a Megahorn professor. But then Shout finally says something, and he says that the treasures of the ancients will end up in the hands of these Eval jerks if he doesn't do anything. And that's something worth staking anyone's, even his, life on. Splendidly put, my good lad. And then, finally, Al, through his thick head, figures it out. He has a dream of his own. So what if he can't catch up? And he manages to get on his own 2 feet and announce himself as the soon-to-be leading Megahorn professor in the world. And he uses a horn blast through the Hyokaku staff to freeze Sonpoi's legs to the ground. And with a quick opening, get back Funkaku, which is going back to air. But not before he uses Funkaku for a little bit of healing rain with something called the quadratic polynomial, because the ill effects of Dokukaku's gray Lariat toxin can be counteracted by the beta enclase found in Funkaku's shed wing scales. Really whipping out the professorisms here. Oh, feeling refreshed, much like that first bite of red pickled ginger in the morning. Not bad, Megahorn, Professor. And then, last-ditch attempt, Dokukaku's most lethal strain of venom, the sting of Catastrium. And just as I promised, that large Warhammer thing is also a bubble blower. And he prepares Hyokaku again, just as he planned. Because Catastrium deposits into stable ice crystals at minus 124 degrees Celsius, and therefore he will freeze the bubble of poison and blast it back at Commander Sonboy using Master's Degrees. And when he gets hit by it, is this a taste of my own poison? Ah. And then they finally get to see Enigmakaku. Or wait, if you've been around enough for Gavin, is that the Gavin Tornado? Or is that Enigmakaku? It scans them. Why is this Megahorn scanning? And then it takes off. And Enkaku does want to battle. And thus they do. With Enkaku dodging laser blasts and him firing smaller cannon fire through the horn thing on his back. Oh, who is this? Giriko is watching through from the shadows. And of course, Enkaku can't lose this. So jump up and over it. But oh, the tornado, or Enigmakaku, seems to outmaneuver him and grab him by the horn on his back, or the phone, or whatever, and slam him right on the side of a mountain. And the Enigmakaku tornado just goes away. It gets away. And indeed, that Megahorn is unlike any that Enkaku has ever seen. And Al resolves himself to solve the mysteries of Enigmakaku. And we are slowly starting to see more of the twining between Omegahorn and Gavin. I can't let you outdo me, so Air herself will become the world's #1 hunter. So from now on, they're not just twins, they're rivals too. And Al will discover even more unknown Megahorns. Just like Shao will discover more about the ancients. And all of this excitement calls for some lunch, like gyudon, beef balls, or Hamburg steak. Oh, wait, In another part of the universe, we know this symbol. Who could it be? Layered Earth Zeta 2066, aka Raya's Earth. It's Hatsune, saying that the scan turned up no sign of Doki Reiji. So, connection between Reiji and Reiji. And Raya is getting scolded by Hatsune, saying that the Kazunami art, Timequake, apparently that is what he used if you watched Gavin Infinity Gaiden. I think it was made to look more like he destroyed the tornado, but he used Timequake on it to displace it through time and through space. But that shortens Raya's lifespan. So now we may have to worry more about Raya or Kunai. We have to do everything to take what it takes to find infinity. And it's Gavant! Gavant is back! Out of all the Gavins to bring back, so long as these Emorgear crime syndicates keep growing, we Gavins must be here to stop them. Which is why Sigma and Zeta have formed this trans-dimensional investigation office. So it turns out Gavant might be more important now. Anticipate the worst on this case. Excuse me, what? I'm prepared for anything. Chief Investigator Amaze. So not only is Gavant back, but he is like one of the top brasses of this whole joint venture. I am elated. Gavant was so underutilized. And just like that, Jochuk, Keeg, activate. And Gavant gets on Raya's shoulder. Onward, Raya! And they go jumping off into the distance. And then, next time, on Kakusei Hunter Omegahorn. I've no use for a weak and feeble ego. Uh-oh. Time for a hunt. If you're really the king, come with me, Enigmakaku. Episode 6, Break In, the Voracious Manor. Shout when Enigmakaku are fighting? Blow the mystery of the Voracious Manor wide open. And I had to choose this specific shot because this looks like Lady Berzer using Hikaku, and it looks like Hikaku actually gives her some armor to go with those bladed wings. Interesting. And then we also have some Ultraman, but like I said, I'm not going to recap the recap. All I'm going to say is they used a multiversal technique to kind of recap this time. But we do have the September episodes. Episode 9, Voltog, Electric Beast. Episode 10, Ozuyanushi, the Colossal Mountain Beast. And then 11 and 12 both have a Starbem in them. But 11 has the Black Dog Wolf, or Dog Wolf Kaiju. And then 12 will have Nibora, the Subterranean Kaiju. Then we also have some synopses for 9, 10, and 11. So, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. 9. The Static Reach. Quick sip. As the battle between Pucci and Voltog rages on, Kyoko, the UTTF agent, is left bewildered by the absence of Teo. Under Voltog's fierce onslaught, Pucci collapses. While the battle rages outside, Ibuki listens to Rintaro's true feelings. Grateful for the advice from Professor Minobe, the two open up to each other while bonding over their guinea pig care duty. Meanwhile, Teo struggles in his rematch against the relentless Voltog. Watching the battle unfold, Rintaro notices a certain change in Voltog. 10. Let's go to training camp. At Ibuki's request, the club and Pucci head out on a training camp. While everyone is happily preparing for the camp, Ibuki is asked about his life before coming to university, triggering memories of his long-lost home planet. Just as Ibuki becomes overwhelmed with emotion, signs of another giant-sized transformation suddenly begin to manifest in Pucci right beside him. And then Pucci and the others witness an astonishing sight. Kaiju Ozu Yanushi, the colossal mountain beast, and the people of H12. Follow up, episode 10, we might actually see the daily lives of the people of H12, or an extension of the genocide, because the synopsis that Super Raya Production listed had people of H12 on the Kaiju Alien Appearance section. This episode could get pretty painful. Episode 11, The Mysterious Boy. The members of the Astronomy Club are full of excitement over a translation badge created by Kana that reveals Pucci's feelings. Just then, the Kaiju alert rings out and a mysterious starbem flies in from outer space. Teo and Pucci manage to repel the starbem. Worried about a parent and child who were near the battlefield, Ibuki approaches them, only for the young boy to suddenly make a remark that completely sees through Ibuki's true identity. Meanwhile, Kyoko from the UTTF finally uncovers concrete evidence that the Astronomy Club is harboring Pucci, and she closes in on the club room. And then super spoilers for episode 12, A Hero's Determination. Ultraman Zero showcases his astounding combat skills. Overwhelmed by the sheer difference by their strength, Ibuki is questioned by Zero about his determination to fight. Meanwhile, the members of the Astronomy Club are counseled by Professor Minobe regarding the protection of Pucci. Both Ibuki and the rest of the club try to find their own answers together. The resolve to fight and the protection of Poochie, what is the answer Ibuki has arrived at? So that one sounds kind of the most interesting, because Ultraman Zero is known for his fighting styles and his tagline, it'll take another 20,000 years for you to catch up to me. And he's one of the better fighters, and we've had Teo, who's an okay fighter, and he seems to be he's more like Cosmos. He doesn't really want to actually harm. And of course we have the miscellaneous. Hot off the presses, it looks like the last form capsule, or the final form capsule for the final case, really does look like it's going to be Agent Dream Light. And we have some news that the Zeztz farewell mission will be on home media November 2026, digital Blu-ray DVD, Toei's standard release window. No official release for overseas audience. We only get to survive on leaked clips. Wink, wink. 7/24. And on to Kamen Rider Mice. We have the Rider emblems. First you can see the rat, or the mouse, or the mice. And then we have the red cat, the ox, and then the black rat. And then below the mice is the tiger, the rat, the dragon, and then the brown cat. Then we have the snake, the hebi, the horse, the sheep, and the wolf, which has its own frame. The wolf frame shares kind of the same technological, motherboard animal inside as the mice over here. I think that's how you can distinguish the frames and what Kamen Rider Mice is supposed to be using, because they look technological along inside the animal. So that's the wolf. Then we got monkey, rooster, dog, and then boar. And then this is what they are going to be selling the eggs in. Literally little egg cartons. Sold in batches of 3. Sold in batches of 3 like this. 1, 2, 3. Believe that they are sold initially with the build egg. But unlike the capsum containers, which only did one thing, the egg cartons are dual purpose because they hold 6. So they're pulling double duty. So there's no more buying boxes of capsums and then buying your box for the capsum holder. You get it all in one. And even better, you can link them together. And supposedly they're supposed to be different colors too. And then we have the mice phone, which is oddly egg-shaped. And I believe that comes with the Fi's egg. That's Fi's or Deno, I can't remember. And then a magazine scan showing in grand form the frames, the turtle frame with the turtle shield, the wolf frame, and then the eagle frame with, I love how the wings are always out, and then the hedgehog cape, which I believe was used in the last minutes of the Zeztz movie. And then also announcing Mao transforming into the rooster Tori of the Zodiac Alliance is Nishiyama Rento, a genius young boy warrior appointed to the Zodiac at a young age. He also has a yellow beak side that accidentally angers those around him with an extra word. Though he's a chicken. Can't miss this. By the way, this guy was in Saber as a kid. Just to make everyone feel old. And thus, we have the chicken, the tiger, the dog, the sheep, the rabbit, Zhao, the snake. And we have 6 out of 12 for those banners. So more for the story. Sora and Yuna specifically collect the seed eggs. Those are from the fallen Fukushigi. And the trailer kind of gives it away. The Zodiac Alliance collects the R.E.D eggs, or the R.E.D X eggs. Yuna supposedly needs the Seed X eggs for something. We don't quite know what. While the Zodiacs will more than likely need the R.E.D X eggs, so that way they can all become Kamen Riders once again. And also announcing the Monkey King. The monkey of the Chinese Zodiac Alliance, Ende, will be played by Suzuki Hiromi, a rampaging scientist who can do anything from weapon development to medicine. If you meet him when he's got a new weapon, be careful not to get test slashed. Can't miss this. And then also announcing Mao, the voice of Tatsu, the dragon, from the Chinese Zodiac Alliance, Ryuzu, will be played by Shirokuma Hiroshi-san, the ultra cool brain of the Chinese Zodiac Alliance, who always calmly assesses any situation. What mysteries lie behind that enigmatic mask? And just like that, we seem to be done. Shout out to all my fellow Zodiac monkeys in the audience. I believe that's what I am. I'm a monkey, according to the Zodiac. And once again, thank you for watching. And please participate in our polls. I believe that they're interesting. And thank you for watching.